My name is Chastity Odima. I'm going to be facilitating and asking these guys and girl some questions. Last year we did a feedback form after the kickoff asking what do you want to see, what's less, what's more, and someone said we want to know what's happening to the alumni, the homeschool graduates. So we put out a thing. Gretchen and I found a couple of the guys, my son's at the end, and then Gretchen asked Jordan, and then I'll let them all introduce, but put out a thing and we're like, okay, who can help us? And then Laura reached out. So they're all, I think Laura's the oldest, but she'll share that. It's been really good watching them, hearing about them. Ethan, I don't really know you, but I heard all about you. So it's really neat just to see what they're doing. I have like a lot of questions, and we're going to take time for y'all to ask questions too. We'll probably start off with that and then just go over some questions. Because as a homeschool parent, a lot of people are like, oh, can they go to college? Can they do this? Can they do that? And yes, they can do all the things. So I'm a homeschool mom. I've been homeschooling since Spencer was in first grade, and he's 21 now. And then I have a daughter that's a senior. And so we've homeschooled the whole way, and I feel like we've been successful. So we've done very well. So, Ethan?
Hey, my name is Ethan. I graduated in 2024 from high school, homeschooled my whole life. Then I moved to Florida, and I was at Skyborn Airline Academy, a flight school on the East Coast of Florida. I was there for 2 years, graduated a few months ago, and now I'll be getting a job as a flight instructor the next few months, and then make my way to the airlines in the next year or two.
I'm Jordan. I graduated in 2025, and I'm a sophomore at LSU. I'm a mass communication major, and I'll be graduating there in 2029.
Hi, my name is Laura. I was homeschooled K through 12. I graduated from Chef in 2009, so I'm a good bit older than these guys. I went to LSU for 3 years, or got my undergrad at LSU in biology, did that in 3 years, and then I went to Auburn and got my PharmD, Doctor of Pharmacy degree in pharmacy, so now I'm a pharmacist. I work for Louisiana Blue, formerly Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. I worked there. No, I went to residency. Then I did residency at Our Lady of the Lake, and then I went to Blue Cross, work as a pharmacist there. In 2020, they sent us all home, so I work remotely from home. I have 3 boys. They are 6, about to be 4, and my youngest will be 1 tomorrow. And I'm homeschooling them and working from home, so that's just a little about me.
I'm Spencer. I was homeschooled from 1st through 12th grade. I graduated in 2023, and I'm about to start my 4th year at Louisiana Tech University studying chemical engineering.
All right, thanks. Do y'all want to start off? Like, do y'all have any questions? Tell us a little bit about your questions, concerns, ages of your kids.
We have a rising 9th grader
Okay.
in high school. He's in a homeschool setting with a school, like their teachers that left the public school arena. They
Okay.
started their own school, and we have him in that environment. I did homeschool him. He did ask me, he said, Mom, can you just homeschool me? Like right during COVID, so we kept him ever since till 6th grade.
Okay.
And then we moved back from Georgia. We're from here, and we decided we did not want to put him back in the public schools here. And as a former educator in the public school arena, familiar with everything, I'm like, yep, not doing this again. So we're happy that he's in this environment, but we felt like he needed some extra stuff, and we met a parent from the school to talk to us about Chef, and it's our first time here.
Okay.
So we're looking
Welcome.
forward to making those connections with people here. And so having from the public side and trying to figure out our ways here on the homeschool side, it's like, okay, now he's a high schooler coming up. What about like dual enrollment stuff, and like, did y'all do CLEP? I mean, what is it that we can do in addition to where he's at right now? Because he struggled with dyslexia and reading, writing, but he's got straight A student now. What did you guys do, like, to get to, I heard you guys are like college early. I was like, wow, that's fantastic, and I think he could reach his potential. Could you tell me a little bit more about what you guys did to get in college early, or how that experience?
Who wants to go?
I mean, I personally didn't go to college early, but I will say, like, it wasn't that hard for me to get in. Had to take the ACT a couple times, but I mean, I know they had the law before that, like, you had to have 2 points higher than public school, but they changed that. So it's the same, and they do all the ACT stuff. I know they do that at Berean, but just in general, like, he could take those classes and practice for that. And if he can get that, you know, there's also scholarship opportunities, but I wouldn't even necessarily say, like, he has to be college early, you know, as long as he's getting the practice he needs to prepare to be able to get into wherever he wants to go, because they don't really, like, look at it any differently anymore. Like, before it was like, oh, homeschool, you have to be this specific way to prove that you're public school level or whatever. And, you know, it's just not really that, so.
Yeah.
Spencer, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you can go first if you had
Okay.
some.
You go ahead.
Okay. My senior year, my classes kind of like, I guess, died down a little bit just because I was getting towards the end, so I didn't have to do much. So I actually did do, I guess it was dual enrollment. I applied to a program at Southeastern University, and so I took classes there, and I did actually go in person. So that was very nice because I was able to, I guess, get acclimated to the college setting while still in high school. So I took 4 classes. I took 2 classes a semester, and that was a very easy workload for me, just the general education classes. But even if you start in like junior year, you get a lot more done than I did. So it's possible.
And I think play to where his strengths are. Like, look at what he's good at and where he's headed and what's helpful for him. So I dual enrolled for college for my senior year of high school. I dual enrolled at LSU, and I was kind of at a place where I didn't know what I wanted to do with after I finished, and so I was like, I knew I wanted to go to college, and it was, and I knew I wanted an advanced degree. So do I do liberal arts law or do I do science medicine? And it was kind of 2 ways. So I took a chemistry class and I took a public speaking class, and I really liked the chemistry class. I really didn't like the public speaking class. So that kind of helped me to determine. LSU does this thing also called spring testing, which I don't know if they still do it. They did back then. If you had a certain ACT score, you could go and they took it, they have this basic physics class. You could take a test on if you know enough math to get out of the basic physics class. You could take a test on languages, and languages are my strength. And so I was able to test out of so much language just from taking like a 2-hour test that I went into LSU as a sophomore. So it wasn't, I didn't really like do all this CLEP stuff as much. I did dual enroll, but it was the language credits that got me into there. And because I came in as a sophomore, LSU, or when you go as a sophomore, it determines when you get to register for classes. So there's a whole lottery, and it determines if you get the good teachers or the teachers that, so because I was a freshman, but I had so many credit hours, I was able to go first. And so I got to pick who I wanted my teachers to be, and that kind of helped set me ahead too. So there's some advantages to that as well.
Did y'all take any club exams, like the free stuff to get the college credit early? No?
I didn't know.
And WashingtonStates.org, you can go online and get free college credit early. I just learned from TikTok.
I thought we would do that path, but neither one of my children are interested. And it's really, like Jordan said, nowadays we, last legislative session, they passed the law where with the ACT score, it didn't have to be, now it's across the board. And the colleges really don't ask for a whole lot. They want your transcript, which parents make that, and it just looks like a general public school, transcript. And then they want their ACT score. And then, of course, you have to register with the state, and they want those letters. But it's not, they don't really, the homeschool community is so large now. They're used to seeing it. You're not just 1 out of 1,000 kids going, there's a lot of homeschoolers going to college now.
So the process to get into college as a homeschool student, how hard was that to do
It
that?
wasn't difficult for us.
Just with the transcript and the ACT?
Yeah,
That's it?
ACT, and that was it. Now you can get TOPS, and then for TOPS they want the home study letters, but that was really it. And Spencer applied, we did Southeastern, Mississippi State, and Louisiana Tech, and those schools did not require a whole lot.
Yeah, for a while I was working in the Office of Admissions on campus and like getting calls from people asking about requirements, and all they really look at is GPA, ACT score, and transcript. Like it doesn't matter where the student's coming from, just about their credentials. Like if you're smart enough to come to the school, then they're gonna let you come to the school. Before there definitely was, like I talked to them, like there was a stigma around homeschool, just because like they feel like, oh, since you weren't really actually like going to real classes, then you're not going to know as much. But I mean, if you have a good GPA, like you're taking the same classes, then obviously you're going to be smart enough to go to the school. So
And with the ACT, it was, when that was presented into a session, it was an ACT score is an ACT score. No matter how you were taught, the score is a score. It's the same kids are taking the same test no matter where. You know, they still have to go to the public school and take the test. And so now they kind of look at that, and statistics show that the homeschoolers do higher on the ACT.
I know with LSU, they require like the 2 years of a foreign language. How did y'all meet that requirement as a homeschooler?
We had it on our transcript.
Y'all took
I
the,
mean,
like,
he
the
took it,
languages?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like, where did y'all get the languages, like, through, I mean?
Berean.
school?
Oh,
Berean.
Berean.
No, Berean
Yeah,
co-op.
I don't know.
Berean
What's that?
co-op.
What's that?
Are you familiar with co-ops? So a co-op, like we meet together twice a week, and there's parents that usually teach the class that they're interested in. Like I taught civics because that's my government. Miss Cynthia teaches American history. You know, so it's things that we're interested in, and then you know, math science. Like my son took sciences there because I was not a science person. You know, but yeah, and so they take the classes there.
What's the, you mentioned the name again?
Berean, Berean,
Berean.
Berean
So
Co-op.com, I
that's
think.
Co-op had the foreign language.
hmm Pretty much all.
Most
the
have
classes.
them.
Did y'all take?
Yeah,
What's that?
What languages did y'all take?
I took Spanish.
You took Spanish. Did you like 2 years?
Yeah.
of Spanish, okay. So how do they test you on the homeschool? But being, you know, a Spanish teacher, you know, I'm just kind of interested on that side of the homeschool. Like, what assessments did you like take, or like, how did you get the credits?
Well, I mean, it was kind of the same as public school. Like
Mhm.
the teacher just creates the tests or quizzes and or whatever they want to do. Like they give us homework, they give us tests. Like we had a Spanish test once a week, and she would put in our grades, and she would give us like our grade at the end of the first 9 weeks, and then at the end of the second, you know, like the full year grade. So it's, I mean, it's pretty much the same. We just have less days that we go. So.
But it could be, I mean, there's a lot of video programs out. I did a video Spanish. My brother took Rosetta Stone French, like just different things to get the credit. But again, like I tested out of so much of foreign language when I got to LSU because I did it in high school.
So when you get the foreign language, you take the college credits. You could take the test to get college credit at LSU.
Without actually having to take the class.
Yeah.
I guess I stayed in this session for one question. If you guys, being that you are in school now in four-year institutions, is there anything that you would do differently or change as far as your homeschool experience to, you know, either better your position or like if once you have children and you choose to homeschool, what will you do differently that maybe you didn't receive?
So for me, like think that the biggest negative stigma around homeschool is not being able to socialize. Like for me, I've always been a social person. I like meeting new people, but I feel like for a lot of people, they're like, oh, just because I'm homeschooled, like I'm not supposed to be very social. I think it's important, especially for parents, to like push their kids to be social, to join groups that will be able to help them learn how to network, learn how to meet new people, because that's like the most important thing I also know for a lot of majors isn't just learning the stuff, but like meeting the people to get the opportunities, knowing how to shake hands and have conversations, because if you can't do that, then it's really going to be hard to like succeed in life. You know, you have to be able to work with people you don't like, just be around a lot of people. And so just getting your kids comfortable with being around people and knowing how to talk to people is important.
And I think I've been thinking about this a lot. Just like I feel like when I was in college and really even high school, like I walked around with this like chip on my shoulder that I'm different, I'm weird, I can't tell anybody that I'm homeschooled because then they'll know, like kind of that. And so I wish I guess my parents had talked more about that, and as I've to me and helped me with that a little bit more. And looking back on it, I want to help my kids with that, but also looking back on it, like I'm weird because I'm Laura. I'm unique. I'm different. I have different background experiences that other people don't have. And kind of instead of being like there's something wrong with me because I was homeschooled, like realizing that was a huge blessing in my life, and that I can bring that in. I can be, friends with somebody who's different and learn how to, those types of things. Like I do think personality-wise, I'm very much an introvert. It's not because I was homeschooled. It's how I am. Like, you can look at my parents, they're introverts. Like, I understand that now. And so, I think that's a struggle for a lot of 18 to 20-year-olds in general, is just like, do people like me? What, do I fit in? What's this? And that's universal. That's regardless of if you're homeschooled. So I think, that's the biggest thing for me.
And you'll see when you go in the vendor hall, like, we have so many things, and that's why we're doing this, just so like there's so many, different sports and clubs and different resources. We have kids club, kindergarten to up, and then we have all the different other athletics, and so there's a lot. Sometimes like my daughter will say she's busier than her public school friends, because we do stay busy. Yes.
We have a 14-year-old, and we're just wondering what preparation looks like for him to graduate, and also start looking into the college aspect of it.
Don't have anything? I have stuff to say, but
I guess just looking at what credits he needs to graduate, because that was the biggest thing with my parents, like having to hash out all of the specific things you technically need to graduate, because you don't need to do everything. Like there's so many different credits you can get for one class. Like I thought I was going to have to take another math, and I didn't. All I had to take was personal finance, and I was like, thank God, because I really don't like math. And so just seeing all the credits he has to get to be able to graduate, and then depending on whatever he wants to do, if you want to help give him some specific classes to prepare him for whatever major he wants, so.
Yes, with the math, like my son wanted to take all the maths. My daughter does not like math. And so she's doing consumer math and personal finance her senior year, just to be done. Find out what he wants. A lot of kids don't know what they want, and that's okay. But if he does have an idea, then set him on that path. And if not, just do a general. To graduate, you don't need to have like all the different requirements. However, most colleges do look at that on your transcript. So being the person that I am, like I check off to make sure, but I have friends that don't do that, and you don't have to. It's just your personal preference. I think we get so caught up with checking the boxes, and then you lose the sight of why you're doing what you're doing. But you can, you don't have to, just depend on what path he wants to take.
I want to echo what Jesse said in the opening speech about involving your student in some of that, like giving them some autonomy as they become part. Because my parents sat down with me at some point, and we would have these little meetings of like, what has to happen for you to graduate? What are your finances going to look like? What is this going to look like? Like, where do you want to go? And I think that was really helpful for me to feel like I owned my education, like I got to be part of it, and I knew how it worked and what needed to happen.
Yes, because if you make him take something he does not want to take, you will be fighting all year long.
Yeah.
Let him be involved in that.
Well, that's math in general.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I understand.
And when you ask him what he wants to do when he grows up, I don't know.
I understand.
I can see him like in the computer engineering type. He's always been into that, so, and he's very good at it.
Okay, good. And then there's resources online. There's STEM. I mean, there's a guy in the gym, like you'll see. But yeah, there's so many resources, and that's what people just don't know, or you can do it all at home. It's just up to you. But yeah, definitely kind of have the wheel start spinning.
So how did you guys choose your path? I know I'm logical, so you sitting in taking 2 classes and like leaning toward chemistry, because I'm a chemistry major too, so that's what I did. I leaned toward what I was interested in. But I know from experience, like most of the students in public, you ask them, hey, what do you want to do? You know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah. So how did you guys get to the place where you chose Palantir or chemical engineering or mass communication? What helped you along your decision process?
Yeah, so for me, I've always wanted to be a pilot ever since I can remember, since I was so young. So it wasn't until my junior year of high school where I was like, oh wow, like if I want to be a pilot, I can do that. So that's whenever I looked into universities, flight schools, the Air Force. So I looked into all sorts of different things, what I think I would like better. So I narrowed it down to either a university or just a flight school. So I picked flight school because I wasn't taking classes that I don't need. It took 2 years instead of 4. So flight schools, there's the big airlines, and they have their own flight schools to kind of funnel the pilots down to their airlines. So I found one in Florida, and then I just did research on it. I toured the school, I think July of 2024, and then went there the following semester, and then there for 2 years, and then just finished in May.
So you looked at like their requirements of what classes you needed to take, and you pinpointed?
Yep, so for the flight school that I was at, I just needed, you have to be 18 or older, you have to have a high school diploma, and a couple of stuff for flying, like first class medicals and stuff, but after that, yeah, it's all good. You didn't need an ACT score, just high school diploma over the age of 18, and then some medical stuff. Yeah.
So I think like the main thing with figuring out what you want to do is actually knowing what there is to do and what people do, and like meeting people in different careers, figuring out if they like their job, what they like about it, what they do every day. And I even know like in there they have a table for career paths. Like I figured out what I wanted to do by meeting people that actually do it, which is mass communication, because before I was like, oh, you know, I didn't really know. I was just had a passion for public speaking and stuff like that. And going into college, I was like, oh, I'm going to be pre-law major. And then I was like, I don't really know if this is for me. And, you know, I was asking, because they have like a career path place there where you can go and figure out all the things. And they were saying like, oh, there's a mass communication. And so I started talking to the people that actually work in that. And I was like, that's right up my alley. So I wish I would have done that earlier in high school, figure out all the different career paths and meet people that do the different things. And so that's what I would say is just like, you know, encourage them to learn about different careers, because if someone just has like one thing set in their mind, then there might be something else out there that fits perfectly for them that they would never know about. So
I have another question. Did y'all take the ASVAB and find out like your careers ahead of time? Because I was talking to a lady, Melody actually, and she told me that they added a career pathway that you can take the exam, and then they give you a list of careers that you might be interested in, that you can research that, and it's all free. Didn't know that. Well, for ASVAB, for us back in the day when we were in school, it was like, oh my gosh, we don't get it.
I think I took it in college, but I don't know. Yeah.
But they come a long way with the ASVAB, so it's something they want to consider looking into, especially, I mean, we talked to her yesterday, and we didn't know that even existed.
She has a booth here. You have to be 10th grade to 22 or 23. So, yeah.
But 14, you could take it for 30 days.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a code. I learned about that yesterday.
Okay.
That I'm gonna have my son take it, so he can just kind of get a head start to start thinking of what he wants to do.
Spencer, do you want to add your?
Yeah, so all throughout school, I loved learning, and like there wasn't ever really a class that I kind of hated. And so I knew I wanted to go to college because I wanted to continue my learning. And then I was like, well, I could kind of go anywhere. Like I could see myself studying history or like math or even physics. Like I loved all those things. And so when it, I guess, came to picking college, I wanted to get, I guess, like the best value out of it. And then I realized that when it came to like the humanities, because I loved all those classes, I can just read books on that, but I can't really read a chemistry book and like by myself and just get everything out of that. And so I decided to go on the science route. In college, I wasn't excellent in math, but I was good enough. And so I was like, I can do STEM. I'll be fine. I remember I loved the chemistry. I loved all that stuff. And then when I took physics, I was like, man, this is also pretty cool. So then I was like, I don't know which one I should do. And so I chose where I'm at because I kind of like chemistry, but I was like, it's maybe a little too theoretical for me. And so I chose chemical engineering because it is some theory, but it's also a lot of how to like produce things and everything like that. So it's very applicable in everyday life. And then in college, I took undergraduate chemistry courses, a lot of them. I think I have like 20 hours of that just as a prerequisite for the chemical engineers. And then once I took the organic chemistry series, I'm very glad I didn't major in chemistry because that was a little too much for me. But I am happy where I'm at now. So it all worked out.
So what do you do now? Are you,
Chemical engineering.
so for, if you don't mind me asking,
Oh, yeah.
which company
Oh,
are you with?
Oh, I'm in college still.
You're in
Yeah.
college.
Yes.
So what do you wanna do when you're done with college? Do you wanna make something like create? What do you wanna
Yeah,
do?
I mean, there's many fields where I can go into. I could go into like food production, consumer goods, like laundry detergent's a very big one that kind of you don't think of, but that's something they produce. It's very broad, and so I haven't exactly narrowed down where I want yet, but there are many options.
and then the whole learning thing, you got multiple children, I don't know about y'all, but like he loves to learn, his sister does not. So when he was done learning, he wanted to continue, she closes the book, she's done. And that's okay, but, they're two very different learning styles. Okay, anything else? All right, I'm gonna ask them some questions that a lot of people brought in. Let's see. Some of these we have. Okay, what do you find sets you apart from the majority of kids who attended regular school when entering the workforce? Or we'll stay in college, because y'all aren't really working yet, but, well,
I can answer one for the workforce question. So at my job, it involves a lot of self-directed work. My boss is really hands-off. It involves a lot of self-directed work. And I remember them asking in my interview, and this is the first time, because usually I kind of keep that, I don't lead with, hey, I was homeschooled, let me work for you. But this is the first job interview or anything really where it came up in my interview because they asked me they told me about the type of work. They're like, this is really project type of work. You'll work on something, you're not going to see an end result that same day. You might not see an end result that same year. You might have to put it on the shelf and switch to a different priority, and then that may become a priority and you'll have to pull it back out. How will you handle that? And I was like, oh, that sounds like my high school. I was very self-directed at home in high school because I was homeschooled, because I wasn't having to go to a class every day where the teacher was making sure I checked all these boxes. I had to be self-directed, and I use those skills every single day in my job. I've been there for 9 years and 7 days. All of that has really helped in my job today. So.
and anybody can just jump in and answer this. What was something, which we kind of talked about, but what was something you did before graduation that looking back now you realize what was not needed or just too much? And is it okay with passing on? What can be skipped to not look like you're keeping up with the Joneses?
I mean, yeah, like I said, certain classes that you don't want to take, you really don't have to take. And just because other people are taking them, doesn't mean that you have to take them. I know my older brother, he took all the maths, Dylan, and he was also going to go do mechanical engineering, but he decided not to do that. But, I didn't want to take all that, so I didn't. You don't have to do that. And I feel also, for a lot of parents, they feel like they want to have their child have all the education, and there's things that they feel like they have to do, when in reality, if the student doesn't want to do it, obviously there's going to be some things you don't want to do that you're going to have to do, that's life, but you could definitely look into it and be there's other options for this to get the same credit, so he doesn't necessarily have to do that.
And I'll address the keeping up with the Joneses piece of it, because I was really involved with band. Band was great. I love band. I played the flute. I wasn't really great at the flute. But it doesn't mean I didn't work hard. Like, I practiced every night. My parents got me a private tutor to, like, learn. My siblings all got into honor band when their first try, and I just could not make it into the honor band. Like, I finally got there with, like, a private tutor and all this. But looking back on it is like, why did I spend that much time practicing the flute? Like, I play the piano, I'm good at the piano, that's helpful for me now. Like, I can do all this stuff, but, like, if I had to look back on it, and some of this you can only see on hindsight, is maybe the flute wasn't where I should have spent all of that time in high school, and I should have spent it on something else, so.
These are for those who moved away. How did you adjust from homeschool to a college campus?
For me, I think the being just social, doing sports. I played golf for actually a private high school, Parkview here in Baton Rouge. That was cool, meeting people through that. I played baseball for the Chefs of the homeschool league. Getting to know people, make friends, just being outside, hanging out with people. And then moving to Florida, just meeting a bunch of people, made a bunch of friends over there. We were at the beach like every weekend, hanging out all the time. So the biggest thing is just being social, being able to, like what Jordan said, shake someone's hand, making eye contact, just being social. So really enforcing that at a younger age in high school is going to help out in the future a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think it should be like a big jump. I think that you should help them work into it, get them involved with things so that they're on campus and like, wow, this is so many people. Like, I just want to go somewhere and be by myself. Because if you are working, in public with other people your age, or you're playing the sports, like he was saying, like I played football, I met people through that. So it wasn't like crazy for me to be around a bunch of people. And it shouldn't be for them either, because that's whenever you kind of feel like left out, or like she was saying, like you might feel different because of it, when in reality people are just people. Like, it's not like just because I'm homeschooled, someone else is public schooled, like I'm different because of that. Like, in ways, yes, but still a person. Like, so
I kind of felt like college was smaller than, in a way, because I did a lot of video school in high school, and I couldn't like go talk to my teacher after class. It was just like, well, that's what the video said, so I gotta. And I could. My parents were there, but in college, it was like, wow, like that person who's teaching me is like right there. I could walk up and shake her hand, like. And so, in a way, even though I was going to a bigger campus, and it felt small. It wasn't a big transition.
It wasn't really bad for me. Ruston's 4 hours away, so it's enough where I just, I can't come home, whenever I want to. But I acclimated pretty fine. When you go to college, everyone's, freshman, everyone's new there. And so it's not like there's only some people that's new there. And so all the people, we just, I thought it was pretty simple. I really did not have a problem. I just talked to people, made friends. I went connect with different groups and everything like that. So there's definitely possibilities, and you won't be left out.
Okay. Do you feel like you missed out on being a normal high school teenager?
for parts, I definitely did, because I came from being public schooled all my life up until high school, and I was like, oh, we're really about to be homeschooled, like, come on, because, I went to public school, everyone there saw homeschool as a certain way, like, there was a stigma around homeschoolers, and I'd say, like, even being in homeschool, for homeschoolers, there's a stigma around public schoolers, and I wanted to play public school football. That was, like, one of the biggest things for me, but once I came, I was like, this isn't really that bad at all, like, even at public school, there's unsocial and social people. At homeschool, there's unsocial and social people. Like I had said before, like, at the end of the day, it is just all people, and high school is what you make it. Like, anything is what you make it. If you have fun and you choose to enjoy yourself and, meet people and do the best you can, then that's what it's going to be. And if you choose to just pout about it and wish that you were doing something else with your life, then that's what that's going to be as well. So
I felt like I had so many more opportunities than I would have if I had gone to a school. I remember talking to one of my friends and being like, yeah, I just finished this book and I'm reading this one and I can't wait to read that one. And what have you been reading? She was like, well, I mean, I go to school and I come home and I do homework and then I gotta go to bed and like, when do you read? And so I had a lot more. I mean, I was in 4-H, I was in band, I was in geography club. There's just so many more things that I could do because I was homeschooled that I wouldn't have had time to do otherwise. So I don't feel like I missed out.
I don't feel like I missed out on anything. Yeah, like kind of like what they said. You can specialize, like you can direct what you want to do with your, I guess, whatever your passion is, because you can't do that in public school. You know, it's just a one track. This is what you're learning, but when you're homeschooled, you can, whatever your desire is, you can just, you know, learn it, and it counts as school, you know, because like that's what you want to do. I was involved in many extracurricular things, so I didn't miss out on that aspect. I played soccer for many years. I was also on a robotics team, and I mean, we did just as well as all the public schoolers, and so I didn't even feel like I missed out on that aspect either.
I mean, like they were saying also, if anything, like we had a better experience because you have so much free time. Like only going to school twice a week and not having a huge load of homework, you can go and work on those days or go hang out with friends and just have more time to actually be a kid and enjoy life rather than going to school 5 days a week, 7 hours a day, and just being worn out. Because I experienced that. And, you know, you still definitely can play sports and have friends, but it kind of feels more of like a prison, like an institution, like you're trapped in there rather than feeling like you have some freedom, you know?
Is there anything you wish your parents had emphasized more during your homeschool years?
I mean, I think my parents did a good job with kind of letting us tell them like what our passions were and what we wanted, and then building it around us. And I think that there's stress on parents feeling like in homeschool, like they have to be in charge and be over everything. Like we're their teachers, kind of. We have to lead them in all these ways. But like having the conversations, like she was saying, with them, like what they want to do, what they want their school to be like. Because at the end of the day, like that's why you're homeschooling them, is so that they don't have to go to a school and be told everything what to do. So like having the conversations with them, like kind of how do you want it to be, you know? And then obviously like there's going to be certain things, like I said earlier, like you're not always going to get everything you want, but being able to make it comfortable and enjoyable for them.
Yeah, I think just that emphasis on you're a unique person and what are you reflecting, you know, as your identity isn't necessarily because you were homeschooled. Like your identity should first of all be in Christ. You should be, you know, reflecting him to the world, and then it's who God made you and you as a unique person. And then it just emphasizing that, and there was a second thing that I'm blanking on. That the world, you know, the world doesn't revolve around you. I think that can be a pitfall for homeschoolers of I've got to make my child's education perfect, and it's all about them, and it's all about them having exactly the right curriculum that fits their learning style and all of the exact right thing, and remembering that it's not, and kind of emphasizing that to them too. Of like, you know, I shared this in the previous session of kind of struggling with that with homeschooling my oldest. Of, you know, he is not going to get all of my attention because I've got 2 other kids and I've got a job and and how do I, and it's teaching him that he's not the center of attention, and that he gets to learn that, you know, sometimes he has to wait while I go feed the baby, and sometimes he gets to help me clean the bathtub, and right now he still thinks that's the funnest thing ever, so I'm going to hang on to that. But, you know, those are my 2 things, I think.
If you could give one piece of advice to parents homeschooling middle schoolers today, what would it be? And y'all kind of all said a little bit, but one piece of advice.
I think I shared on mine.
Socializing, like that's the biggest thing, is being able to socialize, you know, meeting people of all ages. And like I know there's also a stigma of like you kind of have to be friends and meet people in your age group, and I think one of like the biggest things in life in general is that there's people of all ages, ranges, like everyone's unique, like being able to talk to people of all ages, you know. So just not being scared to talk to anybody. Like, that's the biggest thing, I think.
It's always neat to see like homeschoolers, especially like I'm involved in student ministry at our church, and it's interesting to see like it's the homeschoolers that talk to the adults more than the public school kids. And it's like they don't know how to talk. They really don't. So we always have said that like, yeah, they do. And you know, our homeschoolers know how to talk to adults, grandparents, older people, not just relatives, but older people that they meet in the store or whatever. So, because we've instilled that in them, and just, yeah. Yeah, anything else? Okay. Is there anything that helped you mostly, which a lot of these questions are repetitive, but looking back, what part of being homeschooled or your experience has helped you be the most now as you're entering, or some of y'all are in y'all adult life, but well, I guess y'all are all over 20, but yeah, what experiences looking back have helped you now that you're an adult and where you're at in life?
I did a lot of leadership stuff with 4-H. 4-H was really influential for me. 4-H, and then the second thing was Team Pact. I know Jesse Leger is here. Team Pact was huge. Like, I only did that for, I don't know if I even did it 3 times. Like, you have to do how many times to get a civics credit? However many. Yeah, so I did it 3 times. But, like, it was, they had this rule. I don't know if they still have this rule. They used to have this rule where after a speaker talks, it doesn't matter if you have a question or not, every single person is required to raise their hand, and you might get called on. And that has just revolutionized, like, that has been huge for me, even as an adult. Like, learning how to pay attention to the speaker, how to think through what are my questions that I might have about what they're saying. And then just understanding how the legislative process works, because I didn't realize, like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to law, I'm going to science. It's not going to impact me. But lo and behold, every time that our state legislature passes a law that has to do with health insurance, it impacts me big time in what I do. And so it's been, you know, I think it was this year, yeah, my VP was down there testifying for one of the bills, and we were all watching, and I was like, yeah, you go to this website, and that's where you find the bills, and that's how you know, and, like, because I knew that in high school. So
Thanks for putting that plug in.
I really got a lot of
It's a great program. Yeah, it's a great program.
I mean, I'd say one of the biggest things for me was sports. And, I mean, I think it's important to put your kids in some type of group or sport, because for me, like, football especially kind of taught me how to work with other people and lead people that need help, like stuff that I'm learning, teaching them how to learn it. And just, I guess, especially like contact sports, make, like, having bravery, like not being scared to go out there and hit somebody, or just in general, like, helps you become a man, you know? And even not just for boys, but for girls too, like learning how to have teamwork, be around other people, and like I was saying earlier, being around people you don't like, because in life there's going to be people you don't like. You have to be able to still work with them, socialize with them without having problems. And I feel like that definitely teaches that too, because not every situation and circumstance is going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. People don't get along all the time, and being around people that you may not necessarily like and having to be around them multiple times a week kind of teaches you, like, that it's okay to not like people and still socialize with them. So.
Anything?
Honestly, could you repeat what the question was asking again?
Oh goodness. Looking
That's
back,
about
what
what you
part,
learned.
I didn't
Yeah.
remember which one I liked. Looking back, what part of being homeschooled has helped you the most now that you're an adult?
For me, it was probably just through our education having a very, I guess, solid foundation of, like, your worldview and what you believe, and also having a general education, a little bit of everything. You know, like, you don't have to be a specialist in everything, but if you just know enough in every little thing, no matter what aspect of your life, like, it might impact, like, you know, like policies being passed by the government, like, even if it's just something simple like that, you can at least understand what's happening, how is it going to affect you. Also for me, I guess, just learning what I learned in my science classes in the high school ones I took, and like how that affects your worldview. That really affects me now, learning science in a college level and seeing how people relate with that.
Yeah. And I will also say, like, making sure that your student has a firm foundation in the Lord before going out to schools and colleges or the workforce, because there will be people, and me even, like, had my faith tested crazily the first semester of college. Like, they had always told me, my parents had always told me, like, your faith is going to be tested. And I was like, oh, yeah, probably. But, like, you know, I'm founded, I'm going to be fine. And going somewhere where, like, nobody else believes, and they're all telling you, like, this is what's true, evolution and all these things. And it starts wearing down on you, and you're like, man, like, is what I believe true? Like, was I just around a bunch of people that were telling me these things? But, you know, still being able to go back and have that foundation, like remembering and rereading your Bible and knowing that God is real, it just helps. Or for me, it helped, like, in the hard times, remembering that. Because if I didn't have that foundation, like if I had always just kind of like been told that but never really sought after that, then I would have caved easily and given in to just not believing. And so that's one of the other biggest things that really helped me, was having a firm foundation in God because of my parents, you know.
Did I ask, I think I asked like back and forth, but did I ask if you can give one piece of advice to
You
middle
Kind of,
schoolers?
yeah.
Okay, all right, and I went back to the other one. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Does anybody have any other comments, questions? How long have you been homeschooling? You said just started.
I think we did like 3 years of
Okay.
homeschooling, but now he's in an environment.
Where does he go?
Louisiana Learning Academy.
Okay, I've heard of it. Okay, what will you do after 8th grade?
He's gonna continue with the school,
Oh,
but we also
okay.
want to join chef
Okay,
for him to participate in
Perfect.
sports, because I know the school doesn't offer that. But
great.
he finishes at 2, so I wasn't sure like
Perfect.
how a chef would work into.
What is he interested in?
He's into, he likes to dance and run.
Okay,
So
well,
like track and.
we don't have track, but, yeah.
There is another option for direct.
There is an option, yeah. I don't know anything about them,
Yeah,
but,
Baton Rouge Eagles. Look up Baton Rouge Eagles on Facebook.
Okay.
They have cross country and track.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I think
just
they had a
girls.
meeting today, was like there, I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
that's why we were like
It's great.
trying to debate where.
Yeah,
we
a lot of
go.
our chef kids do it, but I just
Okay.
don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They
just
have
not chef sponsored.
baseball, basketball, football,
There's a long
you know,
list.
yeah.
I was just looking at it, cause I have to go give stuff, but yeah, they're all in the middle. You'll see them when you go back there.
The first time for us here, so we just learned about you
Yeah.
guys, so.
All right, well, welcome.
We're excited
Welcome.
for him to, he was going through the list, he was like, oh, I'm interested in this,
Yeah,
this, this.
there's a
So-
lot,
So I think it's a great opportunity for him
definitely.
to socialize and.
Is he here today?
He's here.
Okay.
He's actually in the team.
He's doing team packs. Okay, great. How long have you homeschooled?
Since baby 1.
Oh,
So he's-
sweet.
He's 13 now, so
Awesome.
I have 3 more
Okay.
behind him.
How long have you homeschooled?
11 years.
Oh, okay. So y'all are
Yeah.
all pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yes.
Just a comment, we go to church with Jordan,
Okay.
and we're very proud.
Aw.
Thank you, Mr. Mark.
That's
Appreciate that.
sweet. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
We've known him since he was little.
Yeah. Well, good. I don't know him a whole lot, but, and he didn't even know my name. He called me my daughter's name when he got
Yeah.
here, and I'm like, whatever. I do know him enough to know his name.
Yeah. I'm horrible with names, so.
I am too, but I
Yeah.
understand. I get it. I'm Sydney and Spencer's mom. That's all you need to know. Yeah. It's neat to see, like, coming at the end of our homeschool journey, which is so sad. But it's neat to see all these kids that have, you know, like, I think we were, how old are you?
20.
You're 20. Okay. Who's your other?
I have a 19-year-old brother.
Okay, is he
And
the, are you the oldest?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Liam is 18.
Okay, all right. it's just neat to see all the ones growing up and like what they're doing now, like the older ones and ones that I've seen since they've been young, and then it's just so neat. It's a beautiful thing to watch it, you know. We got this. We're doing well. We're doing good, and they're successful, you know. So that's really special because, like, yeah, some of them have said, you know, they all fit in very well with the world. Spencer didn't say it, but I will say it since I'm his mom. But like when he went to college 4 hours away, it was not a thing for him. For me, it was hard because he's been with me forever, and then he's leaving 4 hours away. But he's found his people there, you know, and it's like God just ordained all of that. Like some of his good friends were homeschoolers in other cities and states, and it's like, okay, you know, they've all kind of just, and they didn't go around saying, I was homeschooled, were you homeschooled? They just, you know, weeks later, it's like, oh, I was homeschooled too, you know. One of his good friends, he did Teen Pact as well, but they didn't know each other. He has 2 younger sisters that are my daughter's good friends, and they met through Teen Pact. And it's just neat how that, like, we're close with the family now because the guys are in college and the girls are friends, and it's just so neat how God orchestrated that relationship. It's really a small world because, yeah, the homeschool community is just so connected. We're one big circle with a lot of little circles in the middle.
I remember walking around LSU, and I could pick out who went to Parkview, and I could pick out who went to St. Joseph's, and I can pick out who's homeschooled. Look at that.
Yeah, it's neat, and it's especially like chef graduation when you're seeing in the thing like what everybody wants to do, and it's like, okay, you know, and then they form their friendships, and you know, some of the friends they had here, you know, in high school, and then they go to college together. So it's really neat to just see it all.
I want to share a funny little thing. So Ethan's my oldest, and then I have a 19-year-old daughter who's at Spring Hill College in Mobile. She just finished her first year, and she is the only person there that she knows. It's a small school that was homeschooled, and she just blows everybody's mind because they cannot believe like she was homeschooled. It's so funny, but like
She's away.
I mean she's totally like messing up their stereotype because she's very social. She's in a sorority. She got academic scholarship. She's like just fun, and that's not stereotypical homeschool kid. But her science professor, she was in nursing, and her science professor was like, you know, she had like one of the highest grades in the class, and he's like, "You were homeschooled?" And she was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Wow, you're doing amazing."
I love when we blow their minds.
So insulting, but so funny, you know.
I love when we blow their minds.
Yeah, it's like he was so proud of her, like couldn't believe.
At my job in our department meeting, one of my colleagues, she hates homeschool. Like,
Of course.
She hates homeschool. I hadn't told her that my kids are homeschooled yet. And they're like, you have the best kids in your school. They're so well mannered. And they're so smart. And I have yet to tell her, but she's like, their experience was like a little house on the prairie kind of situation, and they're like, they carry severe bitterness, you know. And I was like, I won't even